Stars align, cards of wisdom beyond space and time. Lunar affinity, light the way. Guided protection, here to stay. On your path, the truth unfolds. Guides will whisper, stories told. Let your journey now begin. In the magic, let's dive in. So tell me, what do the cards reveal? What's the truth they conceal? She's the high priestess with the key to every question that's haunting me. A lover's heart or a warning from the past. In the Terran's embrace, I'm spellbound at last. Truth's come undone, it's a dance we must face. In the chaos, I find my place. Tarot's embrace, I'm spellbound at last. Truths come undone, it's a dance we must face. In the chaos, I find my place. The moonlight glows, the veil is thin. Lunar affinity will call again. Thanks for walking in the light, where guides whisper pure insight. Until we meet, the cards will wait. Mystic whispers guide your fate. With every message our spirits send, for cosmic dreams our souls transcend.
Hello everyone, welcome in. Cherry Blossom, thank you for checking in. We're going to start with you. I have a yes for Cherry Blossom, Queen of Swords. Thank you guys for liking. Nat. Yes, Two of Cups. Divine Timing. Yes, Ace of Cups. Sophie. I feel like this is a no, Sophie, at least right now. Nine of Pentacles is a very independent energy. Like, I kind of want to be on my own, doing my own thing. You're welcome, Cherry Blossom. Have a good day. Teets, you're... Oh, wait. Got you. Nat, you're welcome. Anitha, we'll put you back at the end of the list, okay? All right, this is for Amy. IJ, it looks like you sent a... No, not IJ. I'm sorry. Jasmine sent a donation. So Jasmine, I do have one pre-order that's going to go first, but you will be next after that, okay? All right, Amy. Oh no. A card fall on the floor. All right, let's see. 10 of Swords. That is a no for me, Amy. Give me 1 second, guys. I gotta grab this card off the floor. All right, this is for Nessa. Okay, Nessa. I have a yes, the Ace of Wands. All right, this next one is for Teets. If you donate, I will update the donation list momentarily. Will I make profit at the mail sorter packaging job? Brand distant for tomorrow. Oh, I'm so confused by this question. Okay, you want to know if you'll make a profit at the mail sorter packaging job? Will Teet make profits at the mail sorter packaging job? I am getting a yes. I have the 6 of Wands. All right, this is for Anitha. Nessa says fun. All right, we are actually going to close the list as well. Let me go ahead and do that real quick, and then I'm going to answer the last few people on my list. So we're doing donations after this. I'm going to answer for Anitha, the Gemini, Ray, and Priyanka. And then that is it for the night for free. If you guys want to donate, feel free to do so. Anitha, I am getting a yes. I have the Queen of Cups and the King of Cups together. IJ, that's so funny. I had a donation from Jasmine come in, and I said, oh, I have a donation from IJ. And then I was like, oh, wait, no, that was Jasmine. And I was like, that was weird. Why did I say IJ donated? And I'm like, were you in here for that? Because I'm like, did I just predict that you were going to donate? Oh my gosh. Sophie, you're welcome. The Gemini, Sag crying over separation tonight. Show me a yes or a no, please. For the Gemini. Yes or no. For the Gemini. Oh. I am getting... I'm getting a no. It's the Two of Swords. The thing about the Two of Swords is sometimes it can mean like I'm in a weird, maybe like in a weird mood, because sometimes the Two of Swords can mean maybe. If the fact that I didn't get it outright yes means I don't think crying is happening, but there could be like a little bit of a mood shift, maybe a little bit more like disappointed, or this is affecting him in some way that's not really positive. I will say no to crying, but I'm not going to say he's just like super happy right now. All right. Then we're going to do Ray and then Priyanka, and then we're done for that. We got to move on to donations. Ray, I have a no. I'm sorry. I hope I'm wrong. Three of Swords. And then Priyanka. Yes or no? Hey, Jasmine. I'm getting a no for that question. The Five of Wands. All right, friends. Let me update the donation list just so everyone knows where they are. And SB was a pre-order. Remember, guys, pre-orders are immune to line jumps. So if you donate the $5 to jump ahead, you cannot jump ahead of people who have pre-ordered, which is basically someone who sent me a donation prior to the live stream starting. It's really the only perk and only immunity for line jumps. The list isn't super long tonight. But we do have a couple BOGOs and an in-depth to get done. So that's why I want to go ahead and shut down the free and move on to our donations. SB, if you are here, please check in. I am going to also let her know on Instagram we're getting started. All right, she says, BOGO. Let's get started shuffling. For those of you who are waiting on the list, if you want to get your questions prepped, you can send them to me. I'll save them until it's your turn. Or you can just have them ready for me for when your turn comes around. Hey, Pure Heart. It's okay, Pure Heart. Thank you. All right, SB. So for your first question, I feel like his like overall opinion of you has not changed. Like his perspective of who you are as a person. I mean, this one incident or whatever is not like going to completely change his mind over you. Like I have the 10 of Cups and the 6 of Wands, and that generally says that he thinks highly of you. You know, you're human and things happen, and I think from his perspective, it's like nothing's really changed for him in that regard in terms of like how he views you. As far as his feelings, they are more guarded. I have the 4 of Swords, and that's very self-protective energy. It's the energy of, okay, I need to pull back. It's like, do not disturb. It's, I'm gonna basically like take some time for myself. Maybe you should too, kind of. That's like the essence of that card, basically. And the interesting thing about it is that the 4 of Swords comes after grief. It comes after the 3 of Swords. So interesting that you use that word, because the 3 of Swords is like where you're going through the most excruciating pain, like that you feel you have ever gone through. And then once that processes and you accept it, the 4 of Swords is the grief that comes along with it. But also it's where you start to rest and recover, and you start to eat again and things like that. So, you know, maybe he's viewing you as well as just needing some space and needing to take some time for yourself to take care of yourself. And maybe he feels like he's just not that person for you right now that's going to make things better. I feel like he's kind of tiptoeing around, like I'm getting the image of him. I don't know if you remember that game, Don't Wake Daddy. But it's like where the kids had to like tiptoe around their sleeping dad and then like don't wake him up or whatever. Like that's kind of how I feel, is that you're like the dad and he's like tiptoeing around you. It's like he doesn't want to wake you up. He does not want to bother you. He's not trying to disturb your peace. He's not trying to make things worse. But at the same time, I don't think he necessarily wants to be the, what is the word when like you kind of take something out on someone. Like he doesn't want to be that person. He doesn't want to be the person that you are kind of just taking your feelings out on, And again, maybe what you're experiencing, what you were feeling at the time was, relevant to you. Maybe it was deep down pain. Maybe it was trigger. Maybe it was just something you had been feeling and, had the courage to like say out loud. I'm not quite sure what it was you were going through, obviously what was said, but I feel like he just doesn't want to be the, the rug that you're walking over, basically. He wants to kind of pull back because, and, I think too, I'm kind of getting the message that he just doesn't want to get to a point of no return with you either, where it's like if he reacts to you and how you are acting, if he takes offense to it, if he processes it and takes it personally or anything like that, it could essentially change the dynamic. And I think that's the other thing, is he doesn't want to get you guys to a place of no return. So he's kind of trying to accept and forgive where the point that you got to, and try not to take it personally. But at the same time, he's like, I need to protect myself. So that's kind of what's going on there. Let's see his future actions. So he's just being cautious right now, not to kind of be redundant on the first reading, but I asked if he was like gonna message you back, and I got a no. The 10 of Wands and the 5 of Wands, I said, does he well, I was like, basically, is he going to respond to you like right away? And essentially I got to know. I said, does he eventually want to respond? And they said he's on the fence about it. I have the 2 of Pentacles. So he's kind of like, maybe now is not the time. Maybe at some point it will. I said, does he have desire to reach back out? And I am getting a yes. So he's in this place where he's like, now's not a good time. Maybe, down the road. I do want to reconnect with her. Like I think he's thinking to himself, like I'm not trying to just like let this connection go. But the Temperance card is basically someone standing here wanting to be cautious, wanting to make sure that, not boundaries are set, because I don't think you guys have boundaries, but like Temperance moves slow. It's very methodical. You're not going to rush in quickly or just not think something through with the Temperance energy. It's tempering, right? So you're going to be slow, you're going to be cautious, you're going to be aware. Kind of like imagine a SWAT team going in to a building. You know, they have protocol to cover each other's back. They have their hands on their gun. They're checking every corner, every inch as they make their way through. Like, that's basically the energy of temperance. And I feel like that's kind of where he's at, is he's like, I do have desire to reach back out to her, but I'm going to be cautious about it. I'm going to kind of like step one foot in front of the other and not really rush into this. I'm going to be very observant at the time that I do. And just like feel her out. Like, essentially that's what I'm getting. But as far as like his current energy, I have the Four of Pentacles. That's very reserved. You're keeping to yourself. You know, you don't really want to stick your neck out or really put yourself out there. And I also have the Four of Pentacles, which means he might be keeping his distance for a little while. It does start and end with good cards. I do have the King of Wands and the Four of Wands, which means that there is some strategy behind this plan of action. Currently it's in action, but eventually I do think this is something that he's going to want to reconnect with you on. The Four of Wands is like coming back together, rebuilding, you know, potentially like taking things, or just seeing progress, basically, leveling up from where you guys are at right now. So it's like, I feel that he wants to make amends at some point. You know, you apologized, but I think that he would also want to make it very clear to you that like he never meant to do anything to upset you or offend you, or whatever this was, that was not his intention. But I think, I don't know, this experience has kind of done something a little bit for him in terms of how he proceeds with you. And like I said, overall, it doesn't change his opinion of you or his view of you, but it is making him more calculated, more cautious in how he's approaching you moving forward, at least in the nearish future. But let's get some message cards here and see what he has to say. Give me a second to shuffle. That's a different deck. All right. Yeah, I'm kind of getting like he right now, maybe the distance is also a little bit of him trying to kind of figure out what of the lashing out is actually intended for him, where is that coming from versus like would you be saying this if you hadn't been experiencing the grief. So I think the other part of him for treading slowly is him trying to figure out what is misdirected and what is actually like valid to be directed at him. Do you get what I'm saying? Like I I feel like he kind of knows that some of, we'll call it negative feelings, whatever happened, um is valid to be directed in his way. um Maybe he's thinking to himself like, okay, she's like just getting out her feelings or whatever. um but at the same time, I almost feel like he's feeling like some of it might be a little bit misguided, and you could be using him as like a punching bag in that scenario because you are frustrated. So the message I'm kind of getting is like from him saying, I want to kind of be very intentional about how I move forward with you because I want to like eventually figure out what what of that anger was actually intended for me versus what was just like you were just feeling triggered. And if this thing never happened, would you have still acted that way towards me or not? So I feel like it's important to him for some reason for it to be broken down, like, because I think that he is curious about where this is coming from. But at the same time, he says, I have no regrets. In terms of, you guys communicating with each other or whatever, like I feel like he's being very careful to want to express to you that overall nothing's really changed for me. Just the way I'm approaching this right now is a little bit different. He's saying, I don't know how to feel. He's accepting some responsibility overall and saying that he wished he had treated you better. He's saying, I wish I had treated you better. He says, I don't know what comes next. I just know I'm not available. 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's pull a couple more. I think he's also a little bit worried about you. He says, I feel you even though we are apart. So there might be just some general concern as well for your well-being and how it is that you're doing. He says, I can't do this. You broke my heart. So this could be speaking to maybe a little bit of that confusion as to where all of this is coming from and what is it that he should take personally versus what he should not. Again, more regret. He says, I wish I could take back my words. Maybe he feels like he's partly to blame. He says, I miss being with you and I'm so attracted to you. All right, so SB, that is what I've got. I am kind of picking up on there's potentially general appreciation for your apology. Admitting your part in this, I think, is good. And I think it is appreciated on his end. May not be acknowledged right away. But I think that's only because he's being very cautious right now. So, SB, that is what I have for you, friend. Hopefully you can come back and listen to this soon. And if there's anything else you want to donate for tonight, if my readings are still open, just let me know. We are going to move on to Jasmine Moore. Jasmine for a BOGO. Jasmine, how are you doing these days? Also, just so you guys know, last time I was here, I was talking about how there might be some minimal like live streams coming up, and I have just been dealing with some health stuff, nothing crazy, but my medication's being adjusted and it's overall making me very, very tired. So I'm having a hard time working right now. But with that being said, you probably will see me maybe like 2 to 3 times live versus maybe like 5 days a week. But just know that I am offering offline readings and I always do private readings as well. So you still will always have access to me in other ways. It just may not be live over here on YouTube all the time. Jasmine says I moved in. Yay. Wait, are you reporting from your new place right now? Is that where you're at? Oh, congratulations. I'm so happy for you. How does it feel? You feel like you escaped a cult. Oh, girl, you've really been through it. Feel relief. I'm so happy for you. That is amazing. I bet you feel like you can finally breathe for the first time. That's incredible. Okay, so we are doing a BOGO for you tonight. So go ahead and drop your questions and let me know whenever you're ready. Did you already drop your questions, Jasmine? I just want to make sure I'm not missing them. Moved in. All my stuff is here. Okay, maybe you're still typing your questions. Okay, so you found... Oh, so I found out my mother is worse than I thought. She actually met with the guy who attacked me on campus. Oh my God. On campus after I reported it. Wow, okay. Can you tell me her motives for the situation? No, I typed slow. Okay. Yes, 1 second. You're actually going to therapy next week too? Oh, that's good. All right, what was her motives? What was her motives? What were her motives? You know what's weird? She... How do I word this? I almost feel like I need to write it down because it's so much information. Okay, your mother is so calculated, okay, that she thinks that other people are just like her. So, for instance, hold on, let me pause there. That's the statement. However, she, to whatever capacity she was able to, she cared about what happened to you. But she said, I don't want to give out my pity. I don't want to give out my comforts if this did not actually happen. So I almost feel like part of her thought that you were just as calculated as she is, that you weren't possibly telling the truth, or you were embellishing, exaggerating, etc. And wanting to go directly to the source. And the sad part is that I feel like she would believe this person over you. Okay? That's the part that makes me uncomfortable about this whole thing, is that it's almost like she's looking for a reason to not believe you. And she's going to him to get his side of things, because she's thinking to herself, well, if I wanted attention and I was attention seeking, which she is, she could potentially make up a story like this. That is not something the average person would do. So in her mind, she's thinking, everyone's like me. Jasmine could be like me. Jasmine could potentially made this whole thing up, or at a minimum exaggerated it, because she in her mind is not a pure person. She's not a good person. She can't possibly fathom that other people are just good, honest people. Okay. So she was almost like projecting onto you. And as a mother, of course, she has to have the perfect image. So she has to know, is this something that she should comfort you in? Is this something she should support you in, have pity on you? Like, I don't want to waste my time on a story that's not true. And I almost feel like she didn't want to believe you. She would have rather turn a blind eye. And I feel like whatever it is that this person said to her, she would take that as the truth over your truth, if it meant that she didn't have to offer you sympathy. And so the reason she met with this person was essentially just to get information, to get his account of events, to determine for herself what compassion she was going to offer, and also if she should believe you or not, and all of that. And that's because she is that type of person that would do something like that. So she, in her mind, thinks that everybody is like that. Makes sense. He used whatever she told him against me. So she goes and makes it worse. Here's the thing, Jasmine. Your mom, she's got a lot of problems. With these cards that I have, I've got to be honest, I don't necessarily feel like she went there with the intention of like giving this guy ammunition. She was kind of there for her own reasons. She was there to kind of figure out his perspective, and she wanted to kind of see like what he is saying is his account of events. But in a way, she didn't want to give you like the satisfaction. She didn't want to give you the sympathy. And she was really just looking for a reason to not do that. And I think what ended up happening was she took what he said at face value. She revealed some information that potentially posed him or put him in a position where now maybe he can have a little bit of leverage, a little bit of an upper hand, and make this more complicated for you. Did she go there for that purpose? No. But do I believe that she made matters worse by doing that? Yes. Yeah. Again, I'm sorry. Alright, so I blocked her from everything. This phone plan. You see her finally permanently being removed from my life. Well, that's a great first card to come out. I am getting a yes, Jasmine. The very first card out is the World. The World signifies ending, things coming to an end, like a chapter closing or like the finishing of a book, basically. The way that it works is with the major arcana, you have 22 cards. You start at the Fool, and the Fool goes through, it's like major life themes. You go through heartbreak and love and, you know, apologies, adjustment, or apologies and amends and absolution, and you go through temptation, and then you learn from that. And it's just like all the lessons of life. Okay. That's the 22 cards out of the 78 of tarot. And it starts with someone who's very, like, maybe a little naive, a little, you know, impressionable, but it ends with the World, meaning that you have succeeded, you have accomplished. This chapter of your life has come to an end. Everything that you have been through has led you here to this moment. And it doesn't mean the end of your life, okay? It just means the end of this season of life, the end of this. It's just completion, okay? It's just like, you know, you can now start anew. You can now start again and take everything that you have learned into this next phase. So just consider it the ending of a phase, the ending of this time in your life. So when you're asking, do you see her permanently being removed? And the World is like the very first card, it indicates to me like chapter closed, like we are done here. I also have the Ace of Wands. Hey, Techie, how are you? Oh, you donated. Okay, cool. I'll add you to the list in just a moment, okay? I'm working on Jasmine right now. Techie, I'm working on Jasmine, and then I have IJ next. After that will be you. So technically, there's like one person in front of you. And if you have to step away or anything, feel free to leave your questions with me. Good. I'm glad to hear it. So Jasmine, the Ace of Wands is like, I'm feeling inspired. I'm feeling lit up. I'm feeling excited. I'm feeling high on life. I'm feeling relief. I'm feeling like I can breathe again. And then I have the Five of Pentacles, which means that she is staying separate from you. She can't get in anymore. It's like she's locked out. Now, will your mom still try to complicate your life? I really think that she could. She will. If she has the opportunity, whatever. But I almost feel like Spirit is saying, but she doesn't have access to you anymore. She doesn't have the ability to. She can try to blow your house down, but she's not going to be able to, basically. Like, she does not have access to you. You are in a completely different place from her. You might as well be on a whole nother planet, because you have kind of kicked her out. So the Five of Pentacles means that no matter how hard she tries to get in, you have set yourself up for success. You've set yourself up to be in a position to no longer require her company, her assistance, and you have basically like blocked access to you. And that might be the nail in the coffin for her, like maybe the phone plan and all of that stuff moving out, maybe that was all that was needed. But if there's any other loose ends, like any other ways that she can get to you, if you're on her bills, in any other capacity. Like, for example, if she's still paying for your, I'm trying to think, like something that she's still paying for something for you, you might want to get on your own plan with that. If, mail is still going to your house, she may not forward it to you. Especially if it's important mail, she may just never give it to you, and therefore that can cause like complications and things like that. But her having direct access to you, I don't think is going to be achievable for her. I think that she can try to do what she might to whatever, but I think you need to speak to the postal service. I think you need to talk to them, let them know of your change of address. Quickly change over everything that you can, DMV, like licensing, anything like that, so that way any important paperwork is no longer going to that residence and she can't screw you up that way. So basically what Spirit is saying is just think of all the things that she could intentionally do to complicate your life. And you said, mail is still going. Yeah, I have to fix that. If you get important paperwork, if you get, called like a jury duty summons or something like that, like this could affect you. So just make sure that all of those little things are in place, because the more and more you tie up those loose ends, the less access she has, the less she can mess up, and the less achievable it is for her to complicate your life. But generally speaking, you've done all of like the big things. The rest of it's just details. You've done all the big things to keep her away. And it's now you're like in a castle, she can't come up. So yeah, that is what I've got. I feel like she is being removed. I feel like you're doing all the things to keep her away. I feel like you've really secured that life for yourself with these decisions. You said, okay, good. I was worried because I never knew anything like this until I got readings. Yeah, I never knew she was against me like this. It's a scary feeling. I'm happy for you. I'm grateful for you that Spirit speaks through me and whoever else is giving you readings to kind of set you up for success and let you know maybe the things that could be going on behind the scenes, the things that she's doing, and just getting that kind of information because, Jasmine, maybe you didn't know the details, but I think you still knew the kind of person that she was. And I think that these readings kind of encouraged you to look a little bit closer at the things that she's doing and figure some things out and maybe kind of do your own detective work. And so I'm really grateful that I'm able to help you with this. And like I said, if you're getting readings from anyone else that's able to give you any other insight, and I just have to say, like, this is it. Like, this is where life begins for you. This is the start of like a whole new life cycle. And I'm sure it was scary. There's a lot of scary aspects to this, but I think this is kind of where it starts for you. I really do. And I think, going to therapy, and I think you'll be getting readings from me probably for a little while, but I think eventually things will start to taper off. I think therapy will kind of take over. I think you'll start processing things. And, if you need guidance on a spiritual level, I'm always here. But I also feel like you did this, like you worked this out for yourself. And I think that you're eventually going to want to kind of move forward. Maybe you'll come to me for other things unrelated to your mom, but I think you're not going to want to dwell on her energy anymore and allow it to have access to you either. So, just really, really happy for you. This is like the privilege of being a reader and seeing someone go on this whole journey and seeing them come out the other side. I've seen so many people who don't get readings from me anymore because they've entered new relationships. They're happy, they're stable. Like you, they're living in new places. They've moved, they've achieved their goals. And that is just the turnover. That's just the cycle of how things go. But that's the whole point of this, is to get you to that point. So I'm just grateful to have been a part of it. A whole new world, like Aladdin. You got it. You're leveling up. Jasmine, let me know if there's anything else you want to add on for. If not, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next person. Techie, I'm doing okay. I can't really complain, to be honest. Life is going really well. Very beautiful, but I am dealing with some medication adjustments. I am borderline anemic, and I've got some meds for my thyroid. They're trying to adjust, and I'm only telling you guys not for sympathy, but honestly just to be real and transparent. That is why I haven't been live very much, because I've just been literally tired. Like, I can't explain it. I just don't have the energy in me. But if you do want access to me, you can always email me. You can always ask, like, Techie, I think you might have done that actually. Am I offering offline readings? If not today, when am I? I also do private readings. So it's like you guys have ways to access me. It's just the live streams might be a little bit more minimal until I can get feeling a little bit better. You do have one more. That, Jasmine, that is totally your call. You have, I can do up to 3 readings for you in a row, which means that you do not have to wait and go back into rotation if you do not want to, because this will technically be your 3rd reading in a row. So you can stay in place and we can just go ahead and knock this out real quick. That's up to you. You got something to do and you just want to come back in a little bit. That's cool too. But I don't want you to feel like you have to wait, because my rules are 3 readings in a row. So just let me know if you want to go ahead and take your turn right now. And if so, that works for me. After this, I have IJ, and then I have Techie. And that's it for now. Okay, perfect. So just let me know what your question is and we'll get started. What does B think of me? I haven't spoken to him in a long time. I might down the line when I'm more situated. Okay. We're going to remove these auto messages from Nightbot. It's just getting a little flooded in the chat with him. All right. What does B think of Jasmine? What does B think of Jasmine? Hmm? Is B someone that you worked with? I am trying to remember, but I have the Eight of Pentacles, and that's like the work card, so that's why I wanted to just double check. Hey, Mystic, thank you for the donation. Just a second ago, well, a second ago, maybe I'm lying. Hold on. Like, I thought that I posted, yeah, at 11, so like 3 minutes ago, if you scroll up, I posted the donation list right now. So you're going to be after Techie. You can pay to skip if you would like, but you would just jump ahead to 2 people. So that's up to you. Pay to jumps are $5. If you pay to jump or you want to hold your spot so no one jumps in front of you, it's first come, first serve. So it's $5. But if you're cool with waiting, I'm cool too. You can also leave your question with me if you don't want to wait, and I'll just get to you when your turn comes around. All right. So, Jasmine, I gotta be honest, these cards aren't great. It doesn't mean that he necessarily has negative feelings towards you, but it could just mean that he's not. Sounds good, Mystic. He's not. Maybe he's like indifferent right now, potentially. I'm seeing inaction. I have the Ten of Cups and the Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords is very like, I want to go for this. I want to like express how I'm feeling, what I'm thinking. It's like a very not well thought out plan, okay? But because you feel so overcome and so excited and so enthusiastic, you want to just kind of go for it. Even if you crash and burn, you don't care because you're being hasty, you're being impulsive. That is being clarified by the Ten of Swords, meaning I am feeling weighed down. I'm feeling like I can't do anything. I'm feeling like inaction. So typically in a space where he might feel inclined to want to reach out and go for it and communicate with you, he's saying, not right now. That's not how I'm feeling. I'm feeling weighed down. I'm feeling like this isn't going to work. I feel like inactive. Like I feel from his perspective, he's kind of in this place of like, nothing's going on, nothing's happening, and I'm not going to make it happen. I do feel like there's some restriction going on here. We have the Eight of Swords. This can speak to like mental restriction. This can speak to I'm holding back. We also have the Moon, which is like suppressed or repressed emotions about you. So if he, let's just say at one point when you guys were in active communication, um, there may have been like something developing here emotionally or feelings or whatever. It feels like he's decided to now push those feelings down or out of his mind. It doesn't mean they've completely gone away, but it means that maybe he made like the decision that this isn't something he's going to move towards, or maybe he feels like it's not worth it, or maybe he feels like it's not mutual, but for whatever reason he's saying like, I just decided to kind of let it go. That's what it feels like to me. If you want to give me any like background information, remind me kind of what this connection was, I can see if there's anything else I can pull for you. But I almost feel like his overall like feeling or the theme is I just gotta move on. It's not working or it didn't work for whatever reason, and it's kind of something I just need to walk away from. And like I said, it doesn't mean that it's necessarily bad feelings. It just means that for whatever reason, he's like, it is what it is. Like that's kind of the vibe. Yeah. Oh, you said it was a crush. Okay. Maybe he just felt like, things were not in harmony, things were not aligned. Like right person, wrong time, or I don't know. I don't want to like put words in his mouth, but I'm just speculating from this energy. It could have just been one of those things where like you were like two ships. Like you guys were just never able to kind of get this going or something. Yeah, I got you. That makes sense. All right, Jasmine. Well, if there's anything else that you want to add on for, we will put you back into rotation, but that is up to you. And if not, I appreciate you contributing to my channel tonight. And hopefully we will see you back here soon with even better updates, more positive news, I hope. Have a great rest of your night, okay? You're welcome. All right. Next up, we have, where are we? Boom, 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 boom. All right, IJ, Techie, and Mystic. And Jasmine is done. All right, hopefully you guys feel like I'm getting through this list as quickly as possible because I'm really trying here. IJ, you've been waiting for like an hour, but I think after that, we're going to be catching up pretty quick. So hopefully the rest of y'all aren't feeling like you're waiting that long. IJ, thank you for your patience. Okay, so you donated for In Depth. You said, interestingly enough, a particular song that I have started to associate with my personal growth in her came to mind heavy this evening. What else should I be taking from this event? Does it ever happen to you where like you wake up with songs in your head? This happens to me, guys, like nightly. Okay. I will wake up in the middle of the night and a song is playing. Sometimes the songs make sense because I've heard them recently. Sometimes it's literally I wake up and hear it the same song every single night for like a week, and then suddenly it goes away. Sometimes the song is literally something I have not heard in probably 15 years. It is just the craziest thing, and it's loud, and it always happens in the middle of the night, and then the rest of the day I don't think about it or hear it or anything. But I wonder, IJ, if you're like a little clairaudience. You said sometimes, not as often though. Oh my gosh, it's like reoccurring for me. It's crazy. And I'm always like, what is this about? Well, first things first, if it's a love song that's being acknowledged, I have the Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups is everything that rules emotions and your heart and love and just feeling like your cup runneth over. You're just so excited about life. You're so overwhelmed with the possibilities. It's just like a very positive feeling, like a fresh start, like something new, like, you know, hopeful, even. That's like the Ace of Cups. So if that's kind of any of the themes of the song itself, that is coming through and that is being acknowledged here. And it's kind of like sometimes it can be like your head is a little in the clouds because it's so dreamy and you're so like, maybe this is a song you could potentially daydream to and just like visualize and, try to manifest through like that fantasy of it all. But also, I have the Emperor here as well, which speaks to like groundedness and stability. And so it's really speaking about balance between the head and the heart. And, not letting the fantasy just take you away, but also being realistic about it. But at the same time, you want to feel like anything is possible. It's like a relationship song, maybe. Um, so yeah, I feel, and there are couples, right? So like that kind of makes sense. Um, so I feel like maybe this is a signal from spirit kind of saying, you know, we want to offer you encouragement. We want you to feel this. I really feel like spirit communicates through music, to be completely honest. I really, really do. Because music is so relatable. It is a gift. Like, I think when people are able to make music and do it well, I think that gift comes from beyond. It comes from a place that you can't like explain. Some people got it, some people don't. And I think that spirit speaks a lot through music, especially if you're clairaudient or you have clairaudient ability to hear that kind of thing. I do partially. And I think it's because a lot of times music is high vibrational. People feel very good when they listen to music. Again, it's relatable to us on a human level, but at the same time, it's something that can be accessed from the spiritual realm. They'll tap in to your radio or whatever, like app you're listening to, your Spotify, whatever. They'll like hack it, Like, I just feel like music is such a big thing. And I also feel like it's what is the word, transcends like time and space, because you can hear a song and it brings you back to a certain place in time. So I feel like spirit is maybe just trying to send you messages, IJ. I feel like spirit is like saying, here's some encouragement that you're on the right path. These are things that you're supposed to be paying attention to. And yeah, and especially for you, if you like music, like they know that's how that's going to connect to you. So I think what you can take away from this is your spiritual team communicating with you and offering you maybe something to be happy about, maybe something to, look forward to, maybe something to feel like you're on the right track or you're on the right path. Spirit will communicate with you however you need, but if you haven't asked for a specific form of communication from spirit directly, then they're just going to communicate with you the best that they know how. So there's some people out there that will, communicate through numbers. Like maybe they're saying like numbers is big for me and spirit knows that. Maybe certain symbols are going to be important, certain signs, certain animals, things like that. But I feel like this more than anything is not necessarily her. I think it's more your spiritual team trying to connect with you, trying to communicate with you, and offer you feelings of like encouragement and make you feel like you can progress forward in a happier place. I think that they like essentially maybe what this song does to you, the headspace that it puts you in. They want you to know they're cheering you on, trying to uplift you and inspire you, um, you know, and rally around you and make you feel like what it is you're wanting to achieve is possible. In terms of the association to her, maybe they're trying to tell you, like, keep going, don't give up on this, don't walk away from this, don't, you know, give up. That's basically the word I'm looking for. I feel like they're wanting you to know that things are kind of coming to fruition for you. And I think they don't want you to let go of the vision, let go of the plan. Um, and if this is how you want spirit to communicate with you, you can always ask them that. They're just a side conversation to kind of like explain what I mean. Um, and when I say spirit, I'm talking about your spiritual team. This can be your ancestors. This can be a passed on loved one that you know of, that you've interacted with in human life. This could be just the guides that you have that have chosen you to guide you, to be assigned to you. But when I say spirit in this context, I'm referring to my husband's father. We had a reading with a medium, and there's a specific band that everyone in my husband's family associates his dad with. Okay, and it has always been a thing. The first thing he ever told me about his dad, my dad loves Journey. He loves Journey. He loves muscle cars, Journey, and our dog. Like, those are his things. And when he passed away, we played an entire Journey album at his celebration of life, and no other types of music. It was just Journey. And that's how his mom associates with his dad, and that's how his sister and his brother. And when we had our wedding, we had a memorial altar, kind of like a memorial mantle above a fireplace where my reception was, and we had it all decked out with pictures of him. But also my sister made kind of like this plaque picture frame with a Journey song in memory of him. I mean, I'm telling you, all of these years, and it's like whenever we hear it on the radio, we feel like, oh, that's a message from spirit, whatever. Was it July 8th? I think it was. We had a reading with a medium. And at the very end of this call, she said, I'm associating him with a Journey, the song Don't Stop Believing. And we had like an out of body experience, and just talking about it feels like absolute chills, okay? Because she couldn't have been more specific. And there was no way for her to get this information. I did reverse searches. I looked up my email. I looked everywhere to see, could she have possibly gotten this information? I'm looking up his obituary. I'm looking everywhere to see, like, how could she have known that? And she just knew. And I really feel like that was spirit coming through to basically say, like, here I am, like, this is proof. And so when I say to you through that story, that is how powerful music is. That is how powerful, like, spirit uses you to communicate with you. So if you're listening to like an actual radio, like in the car, say you got it on a radio station and that station suddenly becomes blurry or fuzzy or whatever, you lose service, you can't really hear it. And then the next song that you change it to, or the next song after that, is this Beyonce and Jay-Z song. That was intentional. Or sometimes another radio station will take over the radio station you were listening to, and that song will come through. Or maybe they'll take over your Spotify playlist or Pandora or YouTube or whatever it is you're listening to, just to kind of give you those words of encouragement. And while the song itself may not necessarily be a message from spirit, it is a sign, and it's a way to encourage you to keep working on your personal growth, not giving up on this connection with her. Isn't that crazy, right? Like, isn't that's so insane? Like, I still get chills thinking about it. I can't, it was just the most wild thing ever. But I feel like your spiritual team, this is how they are communicating with you, and this is how they want you to know that they're here, maybe to support you, to help you to overcome any challenges. And, you know, this may, I know that you feel positive a lot of the times, but this may also be something that comes through for you maybe when you're feeling a little discouraged. Maybe when you're feeling like, I don't know, like, is this ever going to happen? You know, they might send you this song. So my advice to you is to pay attention to what you were thinking about when the song came to mind, and feel that that is a yes. Like, that is a confirmation for you. Whatever it was you were thinking about when you hear this song or it comes to mind, that is confirmation. You know, should I start this business? Suddenly you hear this song playing. That's confirmation. Use that as a way to connect with your guides and feel like you're on the right path. And also be aware that if you're feeling a little down for whatever reason and the song comes on, it's to uplift you, it's to inspire you, it's to make you not give up on, you know, your connection with her, or like, you know, maybe to remind you, hey, you know, you kind of taken a little break on this personal growth, maybe you should get back to it, find something new to do. So pay attention to what you were thinking about at the time that it happened, and pay attention to how you felt. Like, what was your intuition telling you in that moment? Was it telling you that you're getting closer to her? Was it telling you that your time to start meeting face to face with her is going to happen? You know, what was your instinct? Because spirit speaks to you immediately, ego speaks to you second. So whatever the initial feeling was, that's the message. After that, that's you overthinking the situation. But what was the feeling instantly? Like, what did that mean for you? Kind of like when you wake up from a dream, what did that dream make you feel? What do you think that dream meant? And you analyze that before going to someone else, because that is the message right there. But yeah, that's what I have for you, IJ. I really feel like it's just spirit support. And I hope that I was able to offer some insight or give you some tools on how to work with spirit on this. And if this is something that you want more of moving forward, I think you should communicate with spirit and just say, like, this would be a really great way to communicate with me. Because I love music and it inspires me. It makes me feel good. And if there's something that you want to communicate with me, my ancestors, whatever, do it through music. You know what I mean? Yeah, you're welcome, IJ. That was a really fun question. Thank you for that. All right, so Techie is next. Techie said I sent for a yes, no, and a mini. All right, let me get to shuffling here. All right, yes, no. The amount of extra tutoring hours I have in mind while I reach my goal within 6 weeks. Let me get some water. All right, Tateki, I am getting that you can make it happen. I have a yes, the strength card. The Two of Cups did come out at the same time. Usually I don't give elaboration, but because I feel like there's an additional message I just want to tell you. The Two of Swords is encouragement to move forward with this, especially with this particular card in this deck. It indicates taking it like a shot in the dark. At least that's what it signifies to me. And it's showing someone who's blindfolded, throwing a dart and hitting the bullseye. So basically, Spirit is saying that you are set up for success here, that you're going to hit your target. And the Strength card is indicating like this is a really good choice for you. This is a strong option or decision or whatever. And the Strength card also can speak to feeling a lot of confidence when everything is said and done. The only thing that can be perceived as negative with the Two of Swords is that you really, really, really have to stick to your guns, because the Two of Swords can be a little wishy-washy, and it can indicate that if you don't stick to your plan, if you don't stick to the rigidity of this schedule, if something comes up, like you get sick and you don't have a way to make up the hours, and you don't like rearrange your schedule to kind of make up for lost time, that's where things can kind of come in and complicate this outcome for you. But they're saying that as long as you stick to the plan that you have, you will be good. I'm getting like a green light. Okay. Go ahead and post your mini question whenever you're ready. So as long as I keep promising myself I'm good. That's the message. Wow, my voice. That is the message that I got from that, correct? Yes. It's basically just like needing to have discipline, okay? How is G feeling about me? Or his thoughts about me? Okay, let's see. After Techie, we have Mystic, and then there's no wait after that for anyone that's joining us. And I plan to be on, just because it's been a while since I've been live, probably for like another hour I'll be hanging out. So add-ons, new donations, all of that are welcome. All right, so I asked if he has plans on coming back to you. This could be in any capacity. This could be in physical form, like basically you see him again at your, if I remember correctly, the job, or wherever it is that you know him from, like you see him there again. This could also be coming back to you in virtual communication, i.e. texting, calling, FaceTiming, etc. This could be basically whatever reconciliation is possible here for him, that I'm feeling like there is a desire from him to come back to you. I feel like this is something he wants to do. We have the Four of Wands. This is still his desire to come through, clear the air, maybe get some things off his chest, maybe come back with a little more confidence or courage to speak to you directly and let you know what it is that he's thinking and feeling. In the center of the reading, I have the Ten of Pentacles, which means that he still views himself as someone being in your life for a long time. The Ten of Pentacles is basically like long term, it's enduring, even though you guys are going through a time of like not being near each other or around each other. There's this desire to like still know one another. Okay. Ten of Pentacles is a very great card for if you want to know if someone wants to be in your life. Like that's the card that you would want to see. Um and he's like hoping for, mutual feelings on that. Like he's hoping for that you also feel the same way. There are some surrounding cards like Five of Pentacles, Five of Cups, Five of Wands, lots of fives going on here. Sometimes those cards can speak to feeling a disconnect with you. He's feeling the separation from you. He feels like he's not a part of your life. He doesn't really know what's going on. This brings about feelings of disappointment and sadness. The Five of Wands also can speak to like feeling at competition with someone. So is she dating someone new? So these other cards that are here, I think are more like question marks in his head. Like, what's going on with her? I haven't been able to be up to speed. I don't really know like what is happening with her. So I think he has a lot of questions, and that can sometimes make you feel a little bit insecure in terms of the connection. Not insecure as a person, but in the feeling it's like the connection is not stable right now because he's like, I don't know what's going on with her. And this could just be kind of like his own mind, his own thoughts, getting in his own head. But generally speaking, yes, I'm still getting a romantic connection. Ten of Pentacles is romance. Four of Wands is romance. And Six of Pentacles is like that reciprocation of those feelings. So like what you're feeling, he's feeling too. Okay, that sounds great, Techie. Go ahead and send it over. All right, got you for another mini. And you can drop your question whenever you're ready. And we got another donation as well. Oh, is this Ray? Oh, hey, Ray. Okay. I was like, wait, this donation looks familiar. Ray, so let me update the list real quick. I'm finishing up with Techie at the moment. And then Ray, you will be after that. And let's see. All right, so we have Techie currently, then Mystic, then Ray. That is the current order. We're finishing up with Techie right now. So hopefully it won't be too long. Right now it's been about 30 minutes since my last donation. And then hopefully we catch up soon after that. So I don't think the wait's going to be too long for you, Ray. Within the next like 20-ish, I would guess, if I could guess. And feel free to leave your question with me if you have to step out for a minute. All right, Techie says, oh, here we go. Update on what our first meeting date will be like when he returns. If I see the time frame. Okay. What will the first meeting date be like when he returns? All right. All right. So I always look at the last card of a spread. If someone's asking a time frame, even though that's a separate question, I will usually look at I've learned from other readers that if you look at the last card in the spread, that could sometimes be like a time frame. So that's what we're going to do here. And that card is the Ace of Swords. So with that being said, Ace of Swords are really, really freaking fast. Ace of Swords is like fairly immediately, and the swords usually indicate like days. So I would say we're still kind of on track to possibly for like October sometime. It's just basically what it's saying is like soon, just expect it to happen very soon. I am getting like the feeling that it's not dates the first time. I think it's a meeting the first time, but I could be wrong. That's just what it feels like to me. As far as the meeting goes, I think there's well, first of all, I just realized the Queen and King of Swords are here. So whenever I have a King and Queen of the same suit, meaning like a King and Queen of Wands or a King and Queen of Swords, it usually indicates to me that you guys feel at that meeting or coming together or whatever, that you guys are made for each other. Like that always indicates to me a perfect match. So those are like feelings that you guys might be having during that time. Now with swords are very logical. So they're very much in their head. So it's very possible that the first conversation of the first meeting is going to be very what is the word I'm looking for? I feel like I want to say uptight, but that's not really the word. I just don't think the flow is going to be very organic. I think you're going to be very in your head about it. I think he's going to be very in his head about it. I think you guys are going to be putting on your best foot forward with each other. You guys are just going to be worried about the impression you're making on each other, reading each other's body language, analyzing one another. And it's like, it doesn't feel very laid back. It feels very like, I don't know. I want to say restrictive and uptight. That's not really like that's not the message or theme I'm trying to convey. Like, I I just feel like this is not going to be a chill, laid back interaction. You know, you're going to be very focused on him, what he's doing, his body language, how he's responding to you, what it is he's saying. This is like the energy of like over analyzing. And also, I want to make sure I make a good impression. I want to make sure I'm not saying the wrong thing. And so whenever we're very in our head like this, and he is going to be too, but whenever we're in our head like this, sometimes it's not as authentic, it's not as organic, it doesn't flow as well as it could flow. So I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I am saying that you guys are going to be like on, oh, that's the word, high alert, not uptight, high alert, like high observation, analyzing one another. So if this is like an in-person meeting, you know, you'll be replaying this interaction over and over again. Did he like what he saw? Did I make a good impression? Like, this is just essentially very, very in your head kind of energy. But again, he's matching you. So yeah, you'll feel like I'm so excited to talk to him. I'm so excited to interact with him again, and he's going to be feeling that way for you as well. And it's going to be kind of like, well, now what? Like we come together. I still feel like he's great for me, and he's like, I still feel like she's great for me. And there's a lot of joy that comes from interacting or seeing each other again. A lot of happiness, a lot of excitement. The only like I hope I'm making sense. The only part of this interaction that seems like it could go better is if you guys weren't so nervous about it. And you like just allowed to be present and in the moment and interact with each other instead of like overthinking in your minds, like, am I saying the right thing? Is he liking what he sees? You know, that kind of thing. But overall, I think you're very happy. I do have the Fool at the bottom of the deck, and they, you know, the Fool's got their hands thrown up in the air, and they're like, yes, I'm so happy. So, I mean, I definitely think it's a good interaction. I just think it's a nervous interaction. But I think, here's what I will say. At the end of the day, you are happy to have had that interaction than to not have had it at all. Even if it wasn't 100% relaxed and laid back and like just kind of go with the flow and like being present and enjoying one another for the moment that it is. I still think you are happy to have had that than not have it at all. And you both feel this way. Yeah, you said make perfect sense. Okay, good. Because sometimes, like, when I'm doing readings, it's like I have to organize my thoughts and understand the message that's being relayed. Like, I've told people a long time ago, I feel as a reader, I have to kind of be a translator, if that makes sense. Like, imagine that spirit's communicating to me in another language, like French. Okay, so they're talking to me in French, and I speak French, maybe not fluently. So certain words they're telling me, I'm like, I've never heard that word before, but from context, I can kind of understand what they're saying. And then I'm trying to tell you what they're telling me. So some things can get lost in translation. Sometimes if the messages are coming in really, really fast, like they're speaking French to me really, really fast, and like I'm trying to tell you what it is, sometimes it can get disorganized. So as I'm talking, I want to make sure I'm conveying the right sentiment, the right message. So sometimes it takes me a while to land that plane, but I appreciate you having the patience with me to get there. But you are welcome. And I hope you have a good rest of your night. We are going to move on to Mystic. So Mystic, if you are here, let me know. Thank you, Techie. I appreciate that. And then, you know, sometimes I'm like, wait, what did I say? And then I'm like, wait, did I say that right? Am I like repeating myself too much? All right, Mystic for an in-depth, I believe. So whenever you're ready, thank you, Techie. Have a good night. Just check in with me, Mystic. After Mystic, we have Ray, and that is it for the list right now. But I'm gonna be open, like I said earlier, I'm gonna be open till like 12:30-ish my time. I'm on the East Coast. Why did that not send? There we go. So I just need Mystic to check in. Oh, here we go. Hey, Mystic. I've got you for an in-depth reading. If that is correct, just let me know. And also what your question is. Okay, did Edgar tell TB what I said today when I asked for a statement against TB? Oh, interesting. All right, let's see. Un momento, please. Do y'all ever like look at your cats or your dogs if you have any before you like leave for work or something and you're like, must be nice? Because they're just like playing there, lounging or like eating their food. And you're like, what did you have to do to get this gig? To get the cat gig? Because I'm like, I'm over here working, right? I'm seeing them laying down, napping. That's all they do. I'm like, must be nice. I don't know if anyone else feels that way. All right. Did Edgar tell TB what Mystic said today? Did Edgar tell TB? Oh. Show me a yes or a no, please. Yes or no. Will he? Will he? Does he have plans to? Okay, so there's some kind of like loyalty adjacent. I don't want to say loyalty because I don't think that's quite right, but there is some kind of like obligatory thing. Like he feels like some kind of obligation, I guess, to TB. And I think this whole thing's really kind of stressing him out. Like he feels almost like he should or he needs to, or you know, he has to give him the heads up for whatever reason. But I asked, did he, will he, and does he intend to? And I got a no for all three of those. However, there is this like inner turmoil, I think, that's going on within him to keep this to himself. So I think that there is a world in which he changes his mind. Right now, I don't think he is, and I don't think he has intentions to. And I think that he is trying to kind of keep this to himself because in his mind, he's thinking, like, if I say something, does that make matters worse? Does that cause more of an issue? I feel like he's more worried about his effect in this. Like, is this going to start a domino effect? Like, is this going to start something? Is this going to open a can of worms? Is this something that I'm never going to be able to come back from? Is this going to cause further issues? Like, I feel like he doesn't really want to be like the go-between. What is his relationship with TB? Do you mind telling me? Because it's like he feels, it's weird because it's like he feels like obligation or something to feel the need to like forewarn him, but at the same time he's like, this is my sister, and what if I say something and make matters worse? So he definitely is feeling inner turmoil or like inner conflict because maybe he's just the type of person that always wants to keep the peace. Like maybe he's like, I'm Switzerland, don't put me in the middle of this. You know, he feels a loyalty to you by default, but at the same time, there's some kind of connection with TB that he has that feels like he would be betraying if he doesn't say something. Oh, so it's not betrayal. It's betrayal to you. Or, sorry, it's not betrayal to him. It's betrayal to you. Oh, so it's not even... Oh, okay. So it's like blackmail or something. That's the B word. It's like he's got something on him. Interesting. Well, here's what I will say, Mystic. I feel like Edgar is protecting you because, like I said, the cards I got, has he know? Will he know? Does he intend to? No. I'm getting a no for all three. So I think if we had to say where does loyalty lie, it's with you. But that's why I said originally it's like loyalty adjacent, like almost like he's being put in a position to be in the middle, and he's saying, if I tell TB, I might make matters worse for my sister, but at the same time he feels like he owes it. Like I said, it feels like an obligation, like it's like it's required of him or it's mandatory of him, right? Like he feels compelled to do that. To understand the reason for it and your suspicions may be correct, because that honestly, that makes the most sense to me. Why I'm getting this feeling of like he doesn't want to, he doesn't plan to, he knows it's probably a bad idea, but why is there this force within him that's making him feel like he should? Like almost like this guy's compelling him for whatever reason. So like I said, he didn't, he won't, he doesn't plan to. However, I think that he's in a predicament where this energy could potentially shift if he feels that that is what he needs to do in that moment. Maybe to protect you, protect himself, something along those lines. Almost like maybe this guy's got something on him. And I think that right now, Edgar's being extremely cautious because he doesn't want to open a can of worms that he can't put back in the can. He does not want to make matters worse. But I think that he's feeling a lot. I think I even said inner conflict and turmoil. I think turmoil is more the word because there's a lot of mental anguish that's going on here with this. But I think that maybe Edgar feels that if he like is able to kind of stay Switzerland and like not act at all, not do anything at all for either side, that maybe this is the best way to kind of keep this contained. But I would say that I don't think he wants to deal with TB anymore either. It's like he feels like he has to. Oh, I see. Yeah. Do me a favor and delete all of your messages, okay? Just to protect yourself. Oh, okay. That's making sense. Yeah, that's making sense. Well, let me know if that answers your question. That's very interesting energy to tap into, especially because I was like, I don't remember what is going on here. And I didn't know Edgar was your brother either, so. And if ever you need to like ask a question about this, by the way, you can always post it in your note when you donate, and I can keep that information private. And we can even use code names and stuff like that if you want to. Because I know this is a sensitive topic. You're welcome. You're very, very welcome. You said it helped a lot. Okay. Because I don't want you to be down on him. I don't want you to be down on your brother and like take it personally. But I do feel like he's caught up in something that he's like, I don't know what to do here, you know? Yeah, you're very welcome. I hope you have a good rest of your night. Thank you again for your patience. I know you were waiting a little while. All right, let me update the list really quickly. Okay, so it actually looks like Ray is the only one currently on the list. Hey, Ray. All right, Mystic, if I haven't said it yet, I'm sorry to be redundant if I have, but I hope you have a good night. Thank you so much for stopping in. Ray says, what blessings are coming towards me this fall? All right, let's see. Didn't fall just recently start? What day was it? Yes. Like 3 days ago. Wait, does fall start on Libra season? Oh, the day before Libra season. Okay. What blessings are coming towards Ray? All right, so we have first and foremost, we have conflicts or competition with other people. So this doesn't mean that you have conflicts with people, but it can indicate that if you feel like people usually have conflict with you, or if you have issues with other people, or like, you find that for whatever reason, even though you're trying to stay like on the straight and narrow, people seem to be coming for you for some reason, like that kind of thing, or like you're at competition with someone else, or maybe like they're trying to fight with you, like just any kind of conflict that can arise with other people that you feel is like you're not trying to do, but it just kind of keeps happening. I have those things are coming to be resolved. So I have the Eight of Cups and the Five of Wands. And the Five of Wands is usually when people are at odds with each other at a bare minimum. And I see you kind of walking away from this type of situation. So this could indicate that maybe there was something about you that typically triggers people. That's something that you're moving beyond. You're not going to really have this issue moving forward as much. Or if there actually is a conflict that's happening right now that you can actually put your finger on and say, actually, something like that is happening right now, I can say that that's going to come to a resolve. But generally speaking, if you find yourself where people are like trying to compete with you, be better than you, have issues with you, things like that, that you could be moving into a season this starting in the fall. And not a season like winter, spring, summer, but like a new chapter where this kind of thing doesn't happen as often. I do have the Fool here, which indicates like a new start. The Fool, new start, new beginning, kind of moving forward without any baggage. And it can be in any area of your life. The Fool doesn't specifically speak to like an area or category of life. It just means a new beginning. It means like a new start, a fresh start. Something new is coming in for you that feels like you're letting go of the old and moving in with the new. I have Seven of Wands, meaning like you have the upper hand, you have luck on your side. Whatever challenges come your way, you're overcoming them. Now, I also have the Nine of Cups and the Magician. So the Nine of Cups is like wish fulfillment. So during the season of fall, or if there's something that you've been trying to manifest, i.e., the Magician, if there's something you've been trying to bring into your life, maybe there's an area of life you've been really focused on and really wanting that change, that Fool, that new beginning energy, that's coming for you, because the Nine of Cups speaks to wishes coming true. So, and then paired with that with the Magician, it means it's something that you've been trying to make happen for a while that is coming through to fruition now, because of your manifestation, because of your hard work, because of your focus, because of your intention, so on and so forth. The Nine of Cups is very much like that wish that you've been wanting. So whether that is your career, your money, it can even be multiple wishes, okay? It doesn't have to be like one area, but it could be like money, career, and love, or it could be health, or it could be, maybe you're looking to evolve spiritually and tap more into your psychic gifts and abilities. It could be just an area of focus, like I want to focus on my passion projects. Things like this in fall become easier for you to achieve, and there's something that you've been wanting that does come through for you. This could be maybe unexpected money. Maybe you get a check in the mail. Maybe you're trying to take like spoil yourself and have like a fun weekend, and you're like, where's the money going to come from? And maybe your car insurance is like, hey, you overpaid last year, let's send you a rebate check. Like just really anything that you've been wanting to happen. I feel like something is coming through for you that is like a wish fulfilled, and feeling like, okay, I manifested this, I made this happen, this is what I wanted for myself. Let me know if you have any questions for me about this. Hippie Empress, the free list is closed. You can donate if you want. A yes, no question, just yes or no, flat out, no elaboration, is $5. If you would like this question answered in maybe a little more detail, you can donate $8 for a mini reading. You're welcome, Hippie. Yes, Ray, that is exactly right. Whenever the Nine of Cups comes through, it's a signal to you in your life that something that you've been wanting and hoping or wishing for is going to come through for you. Ray, yes, I can do up to 3 questions in a row for you, and they can be consecutive where you don't have to wait. Hippie Empress, I got your donation. I'm going to finish up with Ray, and then I'll be right with you. Since I technically have your question, you can either hang around until it's your turn, or if you've got somewhere to be, you can come back and listen to the recording. It's up to you. Ray, if you want to extend this reading, like in terms of like you have a question and you want more details, you can send for another mini reading if you like. If you want me to go more in depth, it can be an in-depth reading. It just depends on like how much more information you're looking for. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Oh. What are you going to get? Okay, let's see what details I can get for you on that one. All right, what is it that she's finally going to get? All right, so the first card I have is the moon. This is like secrets revealed, like secrets that have been unexpressed. Like maybe something that you've been needing to hear or know or get clarity on for a long time will come through. Some kind of like, what is the word? Like revelations basically. And I have the 10 of Pentacles, so this speaks to like long-term relationships. The Emperor speaks to like a steady masculine energy in your life. With these two cards together, it's making me feel like this could be about love. I don't have cups, but it's like, because here's the this is the problem with tarot, is that I can be as specific as I try to get with it, but it's like we have to work together to figure this out. I have the 10 of Pentacles. That is the family card. The Emperor is the father figure card. Okay, it could literally be about family and a father figure. All right, this could be a secret about that. However, the 10 of Pentacles also speaks to long-term love relationships. The person that you marry, the person that becomes your husband, the person that becomes the father of your children. The Emperor is the husband as well. It's also the father. Could be the father of your children. And the moon speaks to maybe like a secret admirer, someone that actually comes through to decide to confess their feelings for you and express how it is that they're feeling for you. Again, it's not necessarily a romantic reading because I don't have cups here, but trying to interpret this, it's like each card has different meanings. So there's some kind of something that's unexpressed that becomes revealed to you. This has to do with long-term relationships, and the center of the reading being the Emperor could likely mean maybe meeting someone who becomes your husband or the father of your children. Maybe if your love life is somewhere where you feel has been not great, then this could be your wish fulfilled, because the 10 of Swords is here. If you feel like your relationship with your family hasn't been great, this could be that wish fulfillment. But I really think it either has to do with family or a love relationship. So whichever one of those is resonating to you, that's more important for you, then that's the one that I would go with, because again, it's wishes coming true. And 8 of Pentacles indicates this is a desire you've had for a very long time, something you've been working at, something that you've been wanting, something that you've been wanting to see happen for yourself. So yeah, I feel like there's some kind of door that opens for you in this regard, where someone's coming through for you, someone is showing up for you, someone is adding value to your life. They are revealing themselves to you, telling you something that you've been needing to hear from them. And this could be either someone new coming into your life where you feel like you're finally getting that support, that love, that admiration, that value, that companion that you've been looking for. This could also be someone who is revealing themselves to you and telling you things that you feel like you've been waiting a very long time to hear, that you've been needing to hear from them, that may have felt unrequited or felt like uneven. So I guess you have to think to yourself, do you have a past relationship with someone that you're hoping to hear from? You're hoping to get confirming information from them? Do you have, if you don't, then this is probably a new person. in terms of love. And if you have a rocky relationship with family or something that had to do with family that you need resolved or cleared up, then it could be that. But like I said, you have to determine for yourself if what your wish is your wish for love, is your wish for like resolving something with the family member. There is possibly another interpretation of this because it is 10 of Pentacles, and that has to do with money and finances and setting yourself up for future success that comes in. This could be like a masculine energy, like an authority figure, the emperor, that comes in and makes you an offer or gives you a job or like advises you maybe on how to set yourself up for a really great future financially. Eight of Pentacles is here, that has to do with work. But that's really the only three interpretations that I can get from this. And Spirit is not giving me more information. I wish what would be really cool is if tarot was like Chat GPT, where I could literally just like pull up exact answers for you and tell you what I'm seeing. But unless this reading was like overwhelming with cups or overwhelming with pentacles or overwhelming with wands, I would have more direction there, but it's a little bit of a mix. So yeah, Ray, that is what I've got for you. You'll have to just think about, you know, what is it that you have been wanting? What have you been like feeling like you need in your life? That's something that's been on your heart, something that's been very important to you. And I would just take that away from the reading. I don't think it has to do with the passion project. I don't necessarily think it has to do with health. I don't think it has to do with spirituality or psychic gifts or anything like that. I just think it could be like family matters, romantic matters, or career. Those are like the three that I'm feeling. Yeah, you're welcome. All right, next up I have Hippie. Hippie, if you're here, if you want to check in with me, feel free to do so. I'm going to give you about a minute and then we'll get started with your reading. Hey, Hippie, let's get shuffling for you. All right, will Hippie's friends with benefits turn into more? Hey, Techie, you have another yes now. Okay. Sounds good. Let me know when you get that sent over. All right, so when you ask if your friends with benefits will turn into something more, I'm assuming you mean like some kind of commitment. I feel like at this time, and we can always do like a future check-in, I am feeling like a no. I have this friend that you're referring to. They are very much liking indulging with you, and like I have the King of Pentacles. This is a very slow moving type of energy. This is someone who doesn't make commitments very easily. In this deck in particular, this person's holding like a chocolate cake. You know, they've got their money, they've got their charm, they've got their cake, they're eating it too. They've, you know, like this is kind of the energy of like, I just do what I want. And right now, I just want to indulge with Hippie Empress. I don't, Techie, I got your donation. I feel like from their perspective, they're like, why would I give more? Like, I'm already getting what I want. And I feel like along the trajectory that you're currently in right now, unless conversation happens, Ace of Swords, where you could potentially change the dynamic if you wanted to, I feel like right now, if nothing is said and you guys just keep going down the path you're going, this is how it's going to remain. Oh, you said okay, good. So this is what you were wanting. Is that what you're saying? If that's the case, you guys seem to be on the same page. Wait, Techie, I'm cracking up. Is that your yes or no question? Oh, you're going to change it. Okay. Oh, did you upgrade to a mini reading, Techie? Thank you. I'm not ready to be in a relationship. Just want to keep it simple, but it does feel like something is changing. On your end or his? Or sorry, I'm assuming on your end or theirs that it's changing. That's okay, Hippie. Yeah, so since my questions are so cheap in price, I only allow one question per donation that you send. So any follow-up questions would require an additional donation. I kind of run like a la carte menu here where you can kind of just pay what you want to pay and kind of create your own reading, if that makes sense. So like some people will do like a yes no mixed with maybe some love messages mixed with like a mini question. It's just kind of, yeah, I don't do like a $33 ask up to 3 questions kind of thing. I just make it easy because I want to be accessible and affordable to everyone, and not everyone can jump in and drop like $30 every single time. Keeping a toothbrush in a loofah. Okay, Hippie, I got you. here's the thing. Here's what I will say. You do have the 10 of cups here that I am noticing, but it's next to the chariot. And in this reading, with this particular deck of cards, he's still not sure. Like he's still like, I don't know, like the basically it shows someone who's like on the path, and it's like there's a sign that says this way and there's a sign that says that way. And he's kind of sitting in the middle, like, do I turn left? Do I turn right? I think he's really trying to feel you out and kind of trying to see where you might potentially want this to go. But remember when I said you can control the direction of this if you have a conversation with him. So if you want to be clear, um like if you want to be clear with him, I would make sure to have that conversation, like, this is what I want, this is what I'm looking for, because I suppose with the 10 of cups there is potential for him to, like, at some point think that this is something more, but I do see as the king of pentacles is that he's slow moving. Maybe he's just getting very comfortable. The thing about commitment, hippie, is I don't think that's on the table right now, but he could be pulling a fast one on you by starting to leave stuff at your house to have a reason to see you more, hook up with you more, have a place to stay, etc. But it doesn't mean that commitment is coming for you necessarily. All right, so hippie, if you want to let me know, like, what is it that you want to ask, I can let you know how much more to send so that you're not overpaying. Okay, you went ahead and sent. Yeah, he's the one that's king of pentacles. Yeah. All right, hippie. So for the amount that you sent, I can do 3 yes no questions for you. Or I can do 2 open-ended messages with a few details. So those can also be yes no, but I'll give you a little more information. If you do 3 yes nos, it'll basically just be yes or no. Like I typically don't offer elaboration. So probably the best bang for your buck if you have multiple questions is to give me 2 of them that you have that are like the most important to you, and I will do mini readings for those. Oh, yeah, of course, of course. Yeah, I mean, anything extra can just be a tip. So, like, if you only have one question, we can just do an in-depth reading for you, and then it'll be like a $2 tip. So, that's also an option. Okay. So, you said general message, keeping stuff out of his house. I just don't want to get played, so I want to make sure his intentions are good. Honey, I already sent you some. It's okay if I sent too much. Okay, so basically your question for me is, are his intentions good? Is what you're saying. Let's see. Yeah, I'm getting a yes. His intentions are good. I have the 6 of Cups, which means that he's just getting comfortable with you. You also have the Queen of Pentacles, which means he feels that you guys are well suited and compatible for each other. I think what it is, honestly, Hippie, is that he wants to continue this with you. Basically, he's going to just take whatever you give him. So however much you allow him access to you is essentially good with him. Like, so if it means, once or twice a week, or if it means multiple nights and he's staying over, all of that stuff, he's just getting comfortable. It's not a bad thing. 6 of Cups is probably an underrated card in my opinion. It's probably one of my favorites because it just means that you feel a lot of peace with someone else, you feel comfort, you feel safe, you feel just generally really good around that person. Like you feel like you're very compatible with them. I think that he understands you need your space because I have the 9 of Pentacles here. And so he may be feeling some resistance from you to get closer to you. So maybe that's why he doesn't think that commitment will be made and that you guys will just continue on down this path of friends with benefits. I think he wants to respect your space, but I think that would require, as I said before, a conversation from you to kind of set ground rules. But he likes coming over. He likes showering at your house. He likes staying the night. Like whatever it is that you're allowing of him, he's going to take at face value and he's going to accept. You said timing light on making a move and anybody new coming in that I need to make space for or be on the lookout for, should I say. Too open-ended. Okay. She said, I'm sorry, Hippie, I don't understand your question. Oh, okay. Is the timing right? Okay, sorry. Is the timing right to make a move? Second question is anybody new coming towards me from my past? So since you have two more questions, I'm just gonna do yes nos for you on that, and that will be your 3 yes no questions complete for the donation that you sent. Okay, so we did the first one, was his intentions pure, and let's look at, is the time right to make a move? When you say is the time right to make a move, are you saying to move, like physically move, like leave your home and go somewhere else? Or are you saying make a move on this friends of benefits person? Or I just want to make sure I understand your question. Oh, that's okay, Hippie. No worries. No worries. And just so you know, if you ever get a reading from me, you'll get used to how it's run, like moving forward. But if you go to someone else, they might be a little different. They might have a little different rules. So always look at the description of the video I notice on YouTube, people will have like all of the information of what they do not accept. Their, is it PayPal and Cash App only? Do they offer Venmo? Do they offer Super Chat? So just kind of get a feel for each person's live stream. But mine's really easy to pick up. You'll eventually get it. Once you got the prices down, like it's pretty simple from there on out. So I'm just curious about your question in regards to making a move. I just want to make sure that I understand. Is making the move in reference to a physical move, like packing up your home and leaving? Or are you referencing like pursuing someone? So if you can just clarify that for me, that would be great. Hey, Techie. Hippie added on. We're working on the last bit of their reading. Oh, getting your own apartment. You live at your daughter's. Okay, let's see. Is it the right time to make a move? Is this the right time for Hippie to make a move? Spiritual advice, please. Is this a good time for Hippie to make a move? Please show me a yes or a no. Give me 1 second, Hippie. I have an answer for you, but I have a sneaky feeling my cat is getting into trouble. Hold on. Oh, okay. That's making sense. I thought you were saying keeping your stuff at his house. Okay, okay. Regardless, he's getting comfortable. I can answer that. In terms of your move, okay, so we're talking about getting your own apartment and you're currently living at your daughter's. I am getting a no. I don't think that it's the right time necessarily. Um, and again, this is spiritual advice. Whatever choice you make is your own. But I feel like there's more time that's required for you to stay put. Um, so if you can work it out to not leave just yet, that's what I would do. I feel like the longer you stay at your daughter's before you move into an apartment, I'm kind of getting you can save more. I have the Four of Pentacles, and that talks about like saving. Or it would be putting you, if it's not saving, it's just is putting you in a better position to get something more of what you're looking for. And then therefore you don't have to backtrack. Because kind of what I'm getting is like Spirit is saying if you do move and you go somewhere else, but you have the ability to stay, like, i.e., your relationship with your daughter isn't getting strained, things aren't getting cramped, like you're not getting uncomfortable here, etc., etc. If you are able to make it work and she's welcoming you to stay longer if you need to, that is basically the recommendation, because what Spirit is kind of alluding to is like if you make a rush decision on this where you're kind of okay but you're not quite 100%, you could find yourself back in the same position that you're in right now. And I think the goal is to get out and get on your own 2 feet and not have to ask your daughter to stay with her again. And you will set yourself up better for success if you do stay with her a little bit longer. So their recommendation is a no. Don't do this right now if you can help it. So let's see. Second question. Is anybody new coming towards you, even from your past? All right, last question for Hippie. Is anybody new coming towards Hippie from the past? Is anyone coming towards Hippie at all? Is anyone coming towards Hippie at all? In general. All right. I'm actually getting a no for both as far as anyone new, period. And then as far as your past, I'm also getting a no. So what I think, and I have, is interesting. I have the Chariot here again in this reading, in the center of the reading, and that's reminding me of your friends with benefits person, because this is one of the cards that showed up in that reading that we just did, and I feel like the only person you've got around you right now in terms of like romance is this person that you were asking about. Nothing from the past, nothing new coming in. I think this is the center of your energy, this person with the friends with benefits. I think, Hippie, just to kind of round this out for you, I think you have very good intuition. I think that you know what is best for you. And I can imagine the position that you're in right now feeling like maybe a little out of place, maybe a little out of sorts, okay? And in a hurry to get started with your new life, i.e., your new place, and maybe feeling like until you get these other things in order, you're not really ready to pursue anyone romantically, but also having desire for that at the same time, but feeling like it's just not the time for it. But I think that you know deep down kind of what moves need to be made first. And I think you need to just follow your gut on that. You have good discernment, you have good intuition, almost as if you know the answers to this before I even tell you. And I think you have to just follow that. I think you have to follow your gut and what it's telling you. And everything is going to happen in its own time. But as I said, I can understand if you are feeling like you're just ready to kind of get a move on. You're ready to just kind of get things going. And, you know, you're like, I feel kind of stagnant. So I totally get that. So Hippie, you might be, let me actually type this here. You said you're not ready. Okay. Techie, if you're here, just drop an emoji or something. Oh, you can't type? Okay, that's all right. Let's just get started for you. Oh, my computer's about to die. I have to grab my charger, Techie, because I don't want my computer to die in the middle of your reading. Let me grab that real quick, and then we'll pull for you, okay? How would he treat you in a relationship? Okay, so Techie, I get that MG in a relationship is very invested. I feel like when MG makes a commitment, this is like his promise. He doesn't like to make these kinds of commitments lightly. So when he does, that means something to him, and he will continue to invest in this relationship, just like he would invest in the stock market, for example. Like he says, once I pull the trigger, I'm in, and I'm in for the long haul. And I really feel that way with like the Ten of Pentacles, because it's a very enduring kind of relationship. It's basically like when he enters a relationship with you, he wants to be able to see a future here. He wants to be able to feel that this could go the distance. I don't think that he enters a relationship just for the fun of it, because he's thinking, if that's the case, I might as well just date you, because if I just want to have fun and I just want to fool around and flirt and have a good time, that's different. Then I just won't enter a relationship. But when I do enter a relationship, that's important to me, that's sacred to me. And as long as I am in that relationship and I'm seeing that it's going in a good direction, that is what I will commit to. I have Justice, which says that he will be honest and truthful with you. He wants a lavish life, but he doesn't necessarily need it. I think as long as he feels he has his basic needs that are met, like he enjoys his job, he has a humble home, he's got like savings and a retirement that he's working towards and things like that. He doesn't need like a grand wedding. Obviously, if that's something you would want down the line, he's fine with that. But also just going to a commissioner at the courthouse is good with him too. I think he's more about the sanctity of the relationship, and he's more about, when I commit to you, that's significant to me, and like wanting you to respect that as well. I think that in a relationship, you would feel from him honesty and loyalty, maybe a little adventure. I do have the Page of Pentacles here, so like, really feeling like you guys are starting out and really building a life together. I think that he wants to feel that he's come a long way with someone, and that you guys came, like, just basically see how far you've come. Like he likes the idea of like looking back at an older age of everything that you guys experienced together and like the culmination of that. He's very future planning, future forward. Like I can see him really wanting to kind of make and build a life with someone that he's proud of. I think that he also wants to have fun. He has the sun here, so he really wants to enjoy his time with you. I think he wants to start a family. I think he likes the idea of you guys having a sense of humor in your life and playfulness and just generally being happy. But I also feel like from him, he does have the dreams in his heart of like, what ideally most people want for themselves, the the house, right? That turns into the home, the relationship that turns into the marriage, the love that turns into procreation. Like I think he wants all of that kind of stuff at some point. So he's very intentional with you and, wants you to feel comfortable and wants you to feel like you're the most important thing to him, that you are priority. That is what I have, Techie. If you want to add on to your reading before I move on to the next, let me know. Yeah, I'm getting commitment for sure. Yeah. Cuz he sees things like he has a vision, like he sees things in the future. He sees where this is going. So for him, commitment is important because he likes investing now for like long-term payoff. Like he likes the idea of building something alongside someone, and he would never want to be the reason that this would fall apart. You said you two want a lavish life, and he sees that in you. Yeah, like he's basically saying like what's important to him is his relationships, that you have a happy home, that you have a happy relationship, and he's saying like if the lavish things come, then great. Like that's a bonus for him. He's like kind of more, as long as I have all my ducks in a row, as long as I have a great relationship with my family. Hold on one second. Sorry. So yeah, so he's basically saying, yes, exactly, Techie, exactly. He sees that in you, very balanced. I like that the foundation is what's most important, 100%. So he's like, as long as my relationship with my woman is good, as long as my relationship with my family, my friends, my kids, as long as everyone has what they need, as long as, I'm set up and we're set up for future success, all of our ducks are in a row, like everything else is just a bonus for him. That's what's important. Our health is good. He cares about like being present, and he cares about the simple things in life. That's what's important to him, and then everything else is just extra. And he sees me as his dream woman. He definitely sees you guys as a really good match for sure. And if I said dream woman, take that. I don't remember saying that, but I think that might have been another night. If you ever got the Empress in your reading, that definitely means dream woman for sure. Yeah, covering the basics. Exactly, Techie. So just confirm for me that that is it for you for the night before I move on to, or move back onto Hippie Empress. I have. That's all. Thank you. You're welcome, Techie. Have a really great night. It was good talking to you again. Okay. So Hippie says, what blessings are coming my way this fall? Mini reading and the extra you earn because I've been a pain in your butt. No, you've not been a pain in my butt. You're so funny. No. That's what I'm here for, is to answer your questions. The only thing I feel bad about is not being able to answer your questions immediately, like if I'm in the middle of a reading, but I always come back to you. So don't worry about that. You didn't mean to interrupt your ADD. I would have gotten and I accidentally hit send, and I apologize. So Hippie, another thing about my live stream, very chill, very laid back. Nobody over here is freaking out at all about really anything ever. And actually, I don't mind if you send your questions early. I'm one of those people where if you want to, you can. I work off of a streaming service called StreamYard. And so when people send me their questions early, I can actually favorite them and put them in a separate folder. So if you send me your question in advance, as long as I see it, I'll save it for you and then we come back to you later on. So if you want to send your questions early, that works for me. If you want to wait until it's your turn, that works for me. So no worries at all, but I do appreciate the tip, of course. I always appreciate a good tip. But let's go ahead and just answer this for you right now. You might be my last person of the night. I am going to keep donations open for now, and we'll go from there. All right, so oh, you just figured out how to get me live. You don't want to distract and interrupt. Couldn't multitask like that. I would be having a breakdown if it was you. I'm a good multitasker. But like I said, the streaming service that I'm working out of really does make it easier for me because I'm able to say, okay, someone said something. Let me save that and come back to it later. I have been doing this for 6 years. I've been doing this full time for almost 4. So I don't have a moderator or anything. I just kind of run this on my own. And it's been really great. And this is my full-time income. So I mean, I can do this with my eyes closed, really. So I appreciate you and I appreciate your consideration, but I also want you to know, like, it's all good over here. Okay. So let's go ahead and shuffle for you. And we will look into blessings for the fall. Okay. When I was your age, I was a badass trauma and narcissist sociopath that drove me crazy, changed my brain, and getting better every day. So thank you so much for being sweet. You're welcome. Of course. Well, I have dated a narcissist myself. I also have an estranged parent that is a narcissist as well. Sociopath. maybe I haven't dealt with that, but I can kind of relate to you. So, and I'm just kind of in a like season of life where it's fine. Like I'm very, very calm, and I feel like I spent so much time in my life like worrying and like being overly concerned and like wanting to like make sure I'm making a good impression on people and not like overwhelming, and I think having consideration is of course very, very important, but I find that it's more freeing, it's more attractive, especially as a woman, to just move slow and not overly concern yourself and just everything's fine, everything's easy, and not stress yourself. Because I think that I was in a trauma response for so long that I gave myself an autoimmune disorder. So, um, at this point in my life, it's all about protecting myself, my energy, making sure that my relationships with my family are good, my husband, our life together, and everything else is just, it is what it is. And I work for myself. I really enjoy it. Um, so, yeah, there's going to be some days, of course, where I'm a little overwhelmed, but you won't overwhelm me. And if you do, I will tell you. So don't worry. Don't worry about that. Okay. So pulling for blessings coming your way this fall. Thank you. It's been a long road. Don't always have it all figured out, but just doing your best every day. And that's why everyone's journey is their own, and everyone does things in their own time. Some people figure it out sooner. Some people think they've got it figured out, and then they don't, and then they really figure it out. Some people, it takes a long time to achieve certain things. Oh my goodness, hippie. I have the Knight of Cups here. This speaks to romance. So while I don't necessarily feel like anyone from the past or anyone new is coming in for you, your friends of benefits is kind of here again in the center of the reading. Again, I don't feel commitment, and I think that's what you wanted. But the Knight of Cups does kind of talk about like romantic feelings. And so maybe what I okay, so like when we had asked the question, is the friends with benefits, oh, I'm having deja vu. This is really weird. When I okay, so when I asked Spirit and I said, will the friends with benefits turn into commitment? I got a no, a resounding, very loud, obvious no. But I'm wondering if maybe there was like a hidden thing there, because maybe it's not going to turn into commitment, but maybe the question was, is your friends with benefits starting to develop feelings for you? Because that's a different question, and that might be what's coming through right now. So that's interesting. Because I'm over here like, he's the King of Pentacles. He's happy with the way things are going. He's indulging in you and enjoying you and getting more comfortable with you. But I'm like, does that mean he's getting feelings? A little bit, possibly. And you said your intuition's really good too. You had your 11/11 moment, 2017, healing, isolating 4 years. Good for you. I'm happy to hear that. There were a lot of awakenings happening around that time. You knew something was changing. Oh, lots of water. So that's why I said, do you remember me telling you I think you have really good intuition? I don't know why I was saying that, but I just felt compelled to tell you that. Um, and you having so much water in your chart, that kind of makes sense. He's an old soul, 17 years younger than you. You've been friends with him for a while. He's gone through and seen you evolve. So here's the thing, hippie. Just to, if I didn't clarify before, when we asked friends with benefits turning into commitment, I got a no. But if the question was, is your friends with benefits developing feelings for you? That might have been a different answer. And I'm kind of leaning towards yes, because I have the lovers and the Knight of Cups here. And I think that he's growing some kind of attachment to you or some kind of closeness to you. And 80% water. Hippie, what's crazy? I don't have any water in my chart at all. At all. Not a drop. No placements in water. Obviously, I have houses that are water, but I don't have placements. So that's, what is life like for you with 80% water in your chart? That's wild. So hippie, what's coming to you this fall? Maybe an expression of feelings potentially. And if you want to put a cap on that and you want to kind of set up some kind of rule or boundary with this person, then you have to have a conversation with them. Because if you don't, then potentially he will want to express it to you, either verbally or by acts of service, gifts of appreciation, like you already feeling like things are kind of shifting for you with this connection in the first place. And maybe you're saying like, I'm not necessarily ready for that, but I feel like this is coming for you. And like I said, it doesn't necessarily mean you guys are getting into a relationship. Doesn't mean you're committing to each other, becoming boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever. But just because commitment isn't happening doesn't mean that feelings can't grow, because they can. Okay, I have several friends with benefits and I have dropped all of them but one. I need to make sure we're talking about the right one. Oh. I really am happy. I feel that we're talking about your current one, hippie, not the ones that you've had in the past, but the one that you're currently talking to. That's what I feel. And I'm only referring to this person as friends with benefits because that's how you referred. You didn't give me an initial. I bet if you gave me an initial, that's who I would be talking about. And how I know this is because whenever I see repeating cards in someone's reading, a lot of times I assign them to a person for the night. So like if you get multiple readings and I'm seeing repeating cards, then we're still talking about that person. And I have repeating cards here. So I personally believe that we are talking about this person that you're still in communication with. You're really happy or really sad or really mad. Oh my God. Took me a long time to get under control. I'd rather let him make the first move. He's shy. No, I'll be ready. We just usually don't talk much. Have a lot of sex. Good for you. Who is stable, owns his own house, mature, respectful. So I think, hippie, then just allow this, because you know what's weird? Or not weird. Interesting that you said what blessings are coming my way, and I'm like, romance. And maybe you deep down are okay with that idea, but on the surface maybe you think you're not. And so maybe just let it roll. Maybe after this conversation, because here's the thing about tarot readings, I will say, oh, his initials are SV. Yeah. I think it's that guy. I always tell people that tarot readings are like report cards. Okay. Remember getting those in school? Like, they are basically information to tell you where you are currently at. It doesn't mean you can't change the outcome. They're like interim reports. It doesn't mean that you can't change the outcome or change your quote unquote grade the next semester and improve your overall GPA. All right. It's just letting you know, it's a check in, letting you know where you're at currently. But every decision you make, every time you change your mind, every time you have a conversation with someone, every time you make a decision, period, you can technically alter the outcome. So if you like what you're hearing, don't do anything different. If you don't, see what changes you can make to improve upon that process. And also remember that you have free will and so does he, and you can only control what it is that you're going to do. So when we do readings, they're kind of like energy check-ins. They're letting you know, if this path continues and nothing changes, this is the outcome we're looking at. So you could literally have one conversation with him. He could tell you how he's feeling for you, and you could be receptive to that, and suddenly you are in a commitment. And it doesn't mean that this reading was wrong. It just means that you guys had a conversation and changed your path, changed your future. So as it stands right now, no commitment. However, I do think that his feelings for you are getting stronger. And I think that that's reflecting here and being acknowledged in this reading. And I think he doesn't know where it's going, but he wants to keep going. I have a feeling he's going to ask me if I want to move in with him. He has a 3-story townhouse. Okay, and then that kind of brings me back to the reading where you said, should you move out now and get your own place? And I'm saying Spirit is telling me to tell you no. All right? So what if that's the reason? What if the reason you're not supposed to get your own place is because maybe you decide to move in with him, and if you get your own place, then you start a lease and then you can't start your life with him as soon as you would like to. So, I mean, it just really depends on, what moves you make and how you feel at the time. And like I said, you have good intuition. All you can really do is just follow your gut. I know I have free will. I'm not going to do anything I don't want to do. I feel it. I feel a connection to you. I don't want to try to control it. I will let it happen naturally. Exactly. We're on the same page. Yeah. Exactly. Well, I'm happy that we connected. I'm happy that you feel comfortable getting readings from me. I really appreciate that. And hopefully we are able to see you back here again at some point soon. I don't get a lot. I probably get a couple new people a week, but it seems YouTube has really slowed down. I don't know if it's because people are like, there's just so many readers now. But I remember when I first started off, like 2018, 2019, something like that, I felt like I was getting meeting a lot of new people, and tarot wasn't very big online at that point. So it was really nice seeing you. I'm happy that you found me. I've learned when I don't know what to do, not to do anything. That's it. That's the stuff. I feel like you got this, hippie. I feel like you do. I feel like if you're looking for confirmation from me, I will always be happy to provide that to you. But you have a good internal compass. And maybe it's taking time to trust that again. Maybe before it was hard because that internal compass kind of felt like you were being put in certain situations and maybe you should have listened to yourself and you didn't, and you broke that trust with yourself. But you've had, like you said, 4 years of healing, and I think you're coming back into that. trust and knowing within yourself. Oh, you've been a subscriber for a while. Yay! Okay, well, just so you know, I am live multiple times a week. Lately, just for personal health reasons, I haven't been live as much, but I offer private readings as well. The link in my pinned comment shows you how you can book with me if you're ever interested in that. And then I also offer something that I call offline readings, which are announced over on Instagram. And it's basically the same format, the same price, and all of that, except for I do them um, between the time that you donate and the time I go to bed, which is usually like 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time because I work at night. So sometimes it can take a little bit of time for me to get back to you, but I always get your readings complete before I go to bed for the night. And those are same price. The only difference is that instead of talking to me live, you get an email with a voice recording. But otherwise, you should see me here a couple of times a week. And once I kind of get back into my groove, I'm here usually like 4 or 5 times a week. But lately, it's just been difficult. Is it exactly? I don't trust my own judgment, and I'm starting to now. Thank you for the confirmation. You're welcome. And validation. Oh, thank you, girl. I'm going to get notifications to catch you live more. Awesome. Yes. So, Hippie, I don't ever delete my YouTube lives. If any of the YouTube lives I'm doing live readings, they're still going to be there and they're probably going to be there forever. I have so many videos on here that probably go all the way back to like 2019. I just want you guys to be able to come back and watch whenever you want to. And unless or if YouTube tells me I have to start deleting videos, they will always be on my page and you will always be able to go back to them. And actually, some people will, after I sign off, they will timestamp their reading in the comments. So that way, whenever they go back to it, they can just click their timestamp and go right to their reading. But yeah, I just clicked on my oldest videos, my oldest live videos, and they're from 5 years ago. They're from 2020. So I don't ever delete just because you guys paid for your reading and I want you guys to be able to access the replay whenever you feel. And then also it's helpful too for like confirmation. So if someone was getting like a general reading for 3 months from now, maybe they want to go back and see what I said and see if any of that stuff happened. For privacy reasons, should I go back and delete my questions? That's where my head goes. You can if you want to. You can delete them off of the chat, but you want to do that before I sign off. Or I think you can still do it after I sign off, but don't leave the chat until you've deleted everything. But that's up to you because of your name being Hippie Empress. You don't have like your legal name on here unless he's able to figure that out, that it's you. I don't think you'll have any problems either way. But that's also another benefit of doing private readings with me or doing offline readings with me whenever I'm offering them, because then you don't have to worry about that and you can be as honest as you want. So go ahead and delete those if that's your preference. If that's what you want to do, that's fine with me. But I am going to go ahead and sign off for the night because I'm all caught up on my list. And my husband's on his way home from work right now. So I have to get going. But I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. And we'll see each other next time, okay? I love that. I love that. Have a good night. Thank you, Hippie. We'll see you next time.